O'Reilly Auto Parts. Wow. This is going to be an episode where we're just going to do all jingles the whole time. We'll get Menards, we'll get O'Reilly, we'll do, I don't know, Target doesn't have a jingle, do they? They got a new CEO though. Kinda, we'll talk about that. Is anybody buying Target? Share it with us. We want to hear, what do you think of the move? Is Target going to go the way of Kmart, Sears, Montgomery Wards, Woolworths? I'm running out of stores I used to go to as a kid that are now defunct. Service merchandise, there's a fun one. Who went to service merchandise? You know how I know about service merchandise? Or I guess I should say, what has two thumbs and used to work at service merchandise? This guy in the toy department. So, yeah, busy day here. Yard work, housework, putting out newsletters, talking to all you fine people. I've been looking forward to this, I must confess. So here we are. JCPenney, thank you. Montgomery Ward. Did I say GC Ward? Yeah, Montgomery Wards. Wards was big. Penny's was big. Sears. Dude, the Sears had the wish book, right? How many of you guys remember and gals remember the wish book? Oh, I used to love getting that thing and, yeah, I guess I'm not supposed to share this, but, a young Dapper Dividends guy, probably say maybe 5th, 6th grade, something like that. So there was two things, right? They would give me the wish book. Anyway, it was this thing. Sears would put out a wish book, and it was, well, maybe it was just now I'm thinking that was the toys, right? Anyway, the whole catalog you'd get from Penny's or Sears. They had a lingerie section. So a young this guy used to stop and probably stay a little too long at that. But come on, a young man whose hormones are raging, man, it was crazy. Those were the days pre-internet, when you could just get whatever the hell you wanted immediately on demand. You had to get creative, but then I would circle the toys and video games and things I wanted. So, dude, Lucas, yes, I'm not alone. I'm not the only weird one that used to look in the brassiere section. Yeah, good. Maybe we're weirdos. I don't know. The Christmas catalog, Janice. Yes. And I realize this may be a little, probably not surprising. Come on, The Sears. All right, good. Good to know I'm not. Anyway, so I don't think Target is going to go that way. We'll look at their numbers in a minute. We'll just look at them on Simply Safe Dividends for the 10-year trends. But yeah, Steve, already firing off. I love it. Look at this. We won't keep it too much because I know there's a lot of people that are younger and don't know what the wish books and the Christmas catalogs are. Oh, dude, service merchandise for layaway NES games. That was a fun job I had. I was in high school and I worked at service merchandise. I need a service merchandise shirt. That's what I think I'm going to get. Billy, Target reminds you of Kmart. Man, if Kmart it got a little ratty at the end, right? Where did the Target go? I got to say, I haven't been to too many Targets lately, but actually I did go to one. When we tried to go see Ghost over in Rosemont, Illinois, it was bizarre because our tickets, there was a glitch. We were trying to get our digital tickets we had just bought. So I ran into the Target to use the bathroom, and one of the workers was in there. He came out of the stall. Nobody's eating. It's not gross here, but I hope you're not eating. Anyway, he had on the blue rubber gloves, and then he was washing the blue rubber gloves like you would wash your hands, and then he was drying them under the dryer. And I thought, must be your favorite pair of nitrile gloves there, buddy. Like, maybe you want to take those off and throw them away. Anyway, I'm sure he's not dealing with food. Hey, he's keeping them clean, okay. To each their own, but it didn't look too bad, I guess. I didn't really walk around, but I think some people like that Target. It's supposed to be higher end than Walmart. And oh, yeah, I heard about that. You can buy a house from Sears, Pat. Pat, that's probably before I was, well, you may be going back longer than I remember that, but yeah, we'll leave the logo. The logo is it's encased in amber here. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll change it eventually, but yeah, look at this. Let me show you guys something I put out on Blossom, which, by the way, hey, follow me on Blossom if you want to see the portfolio updates. I don't know why. I still got to contact them. It used to update. I'd buy something and I would get an alert that it updated. Other people's do for whatever reason. Maybe I'm in the US, it's Schwab. I don't know. But when I buy something, it updates all at night. So you may have to wait till the end of the night layaway. I love it. Layaways. I'm going to show you guys something here, which is, well, I'll show you this first, and then we'll jump around a little bit because I just made myself laugh. So this is one of my posts on Blippity Blossom, and I wanted to give you more space. I know it's a little small, but I posted this the other day, and it is 4 days ago. There you go. 4 days ago, when Brian Cornell is stepping down, announced in February 2026. Look at the 10-year total returns here. So he's been for 14 years, right? August 2011. So I guess I could have won since then, but we'll cut him some slack, right? We'll say he had to put a few years to get his plan going, right? But either way, the 10-year total return, Costco, 726%, obviously a little bit different business than Walmart or than Target, but Walmart, fairly comparable, 458% total return. The VOO, right? Just the S&P 500, just the bland S&P 500, 286%. And then there you go, Target, 77% total return over the past 10 years. That is just disgusting. And if you watched the last video I did, you may have caught my joke. I slipped it in really quick. Everybody says, this is a cup. The expense on this is cheaper than a cup of coffee. Popular one. I didn't want to do the cup of coffee. So what did I do? I did from Archie McPhee, and it took me a minute to find, but the tiny box of Bigfoots for $4.95, excuse me. But look at that. They also have tiny box of wizards, tiny box of werewolves, tiny box of axolotls, finger hands. Yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff on McPhee.com. Hey, you want to, you're bored, you want to get yourself a little murder of crows, tiny crows. You can get yourself all set up there, finger pigeons, all the goofy stuff. And if you are in the Seattle area, Gilly the Bath Axolotl. It's a bizarre sight. Liquid cats, I know. This has nothing to do with investing, but it made me laugh. And maybe it'll make you laugh and lighten your Sunday night. They have a Seattle store. And I think the last thing I wanted to show you that kind of made me laugh. Sorry, I didn't even notice the fidget intestines, right? Put that on your desk at work. Squish my guts. What are you doing over there? I'm squishing guts. Made me think of something else. It changed. There was something else up there. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, so there you go. You want a little, I don't know what opera corn is. McPhee.com. Have some fun, and you'll surprise some childrens. But let's do news real quick, because I want to just look at Target's numbers for you before I jump back to the chat. So here's the news. Flow, not Flow from, is that Progressive? Is that Flow from Progressive? I think it is. No, Flowers Foods. Remember, they got Bubba's Bagels, Wonder Bread, Butternut, brands everybody knows. I know all their brands almost. And the big one I can't think of, Dave's Killer Bread, they got that. They were downgraded, dividend safety downgrade. They're now yielding 6.25% dividend yield, which is miles above their 5-year average, and they could be significantly undervalued. I think somebody was buying Flowers Foods. I don't remember who. Let us know in the comments, wherever it is for you, the side below. I think it's on the side, right? Doesn't rhyme. comments on the side. They refreshed their outlook on Ennis commercial printer. Looks reasonably valued. Know nothing about Ennis, EBF. Then there you go. And a little smaller here. Now we'll jump right into Target. American Financial, ticker AFG, raised that dividend 10%, which is their 20th consecutive annual dividend increase. Fantastic. They look way undervalued as well, according to Simply Safe. M&T Bank, when I first started getting into investing, individually investing in stocks, I remember Berkshire and Buffett, they had owned and were buying M&T Bank, ticker MTB. They ended up selling out of that. 99, very safe safety score. Raised that dividend 11%. Northeastern Regional Bank. This is Cold, ticker COLD, Americold Realty Trust. I think they do, man, that they're beating the heck down. 6% dividend yield. Yeah, the world's second largest cold storage REIT. I work at companies like this. I'm glad it's not often because it sucks sometimes. They have gigantic freezers on the roof. They keep it way below zero in there. It's cold. It's yucky. Gotta make that money though. Anyway, they were dividend downgraded to 60, borderline safe. I didn't read that article. I probably should have to see exactly why they did some of these, but at least you're getting the headline. And if you do want to read those, if it's going to affect you, just give Simply Safe your email address. You get to use it for 2 weeks. You don't even have to give them a credit card. SimplySafeDividends.com. This is Black Hills is merging with Northwestern, and that's they say their dividend outlook remains strong. And Black Hills dividend king, I know that looks like they are slightly undervalued. A couple more here. Altria, ticker MO, raised a dividend 3.9%, and they are tracking to achieve mid-single-digit payout growth through 2028. That'll be interesting to see if the stock's been on a tear, just ridiculous. Hey, 56 years dividend growth, and they are crushing it in terms of their stock price. Good for them. They have a product that less and less people are using, so apparently they're able to charge more and more for that. It's good to have addictive products that people are addicted to, right? McDonald's could be an addictive product, I guess. I don't know. Accenture. This is one that has come onto my watch list. I forgot to share it in the newsletter. Greg Denweiler from Dividend Mailbox has a podcast, talked about Accenture, and it put it on my radar. I'm trying to understand the business a little more, but they gave them a reaffirmed safety score of 92, very safe. So they are firmly on my radar, and I'm trying to understand. Does anybody understand? Can you explain to me in a couple sentences, explain it at an 8th grade comprehension reading level? What does Accenture do, and why will they still have a profitable business 5 years out from now? And they refresh their outlook on EPD, ticker Enterprise Products Partners, ticker EPD. And they look at the high end. I'd like to buy them in the Roth, I'm sorry, not in the Roth, in the taxable account. We've talked about, I pulled them from the Roth. And as I promised, lastly, we'll look at Target. And Steve, we'll do ONEOK for you, or ONEOK. Target, there it is. They still have a dividend safety score of 80 safe. Yield, almost 5%. If you believe that they're going to still be around, they're going to turn it around. Could be interesting. A thing about Target, 11, I couldn't believe it, 11 straight quarters of flat or declining comparable same-store sales growth. Just awful. But meanwhile, Target keeps increasing, keeps going up. And Brian Cornell is going to be he's going to still chair the board, which I think could be a conflict of interest, because now what he's done for the last 14 years, Brian Fidelke, I think is his name, what he's going to come in and want to make all these changes and have to talk it over with the board. That's going to be uncomfortable, right? Oh, either way, Target founded 1902. We'll go quick through this. So their dividend growth streak has slowed to a crawl. 10-year CAGR of 9%, 11.3% 5-year, now down to 1.8%. So company clearly in turnaround mode. Gave that token dividend raise so they could keep, what was it? Yeah, Dividend King status. 53 years of dividend growth for Target is what we're looking at here. Could be undervalued, as according to Simply Safe. If they do turn it around, looks like a great time to buy. The forward price to earnings ratio means that you are paying currently $12.90 for every $1 of Target's forward earnings. Free cash flow, we'll just look at these really quick again. Pause the video if you need to look at these 10-year trends in depth anymore. Their free cash flow payout ratio is higher than it's been in the last decade. Earnings payout ratio, not going to make Kevin Burgess happy. That is elevated. Yeah, earnings per share has fallen. Free cash flow per share has fallen. Margins have compressed. Just a bucket of yuck. Sales growth is negative. Earnings per share growth negative. Sales are declining slightly, but they're still declining. And they're still buying back shares. So I guess that's a good time to do it now when stock price is down. All their margins are falling. Free cash flow might just weak all around. They need something. And I'll be curious to see, at least their debt has come down a little bit. And they are, I'm sure we have new people watching. So the quick elevator pitch on interest coverage ratio is very important, because a company has to be, just like you have to be able to pay the interest on your debt. How comfortably can you or a company do it? Currently, Target has an interest coverage ratio of 13.1. What that means, they have $13.10 of operating income, or EBIT, earnings before interest and taxes. So they're easily able to cover the interest on their debt. $13.10 to cover every $1 of interest on their debt. That's Target. I'm jumping back to you, not back to... Oh, I scared the hell out of myself. I thought I closed the StreamYard window. I was like, no. All right, let's see what you guys got. Yeah, Brett Nexus. Brett Nexus sounds like a wrestler, man. WWF wrestler. E-wrestler. Retail is such a hard market. Any groups are difficult to recover from. Target has little, and you're right, man. I was just listening to a Wall Street Journal podcast talking with a retail expert, and she said that a lot of the tariffs have not fully been felt, and because it takes a while to work its way through the system. A lot of the things that companies still have right now, they haven't paid the higher costs from the tariff increases on those. And it might not fully be felt until back to school 2026. So there's going to be, she thinks, I don't remember her name. I should have wrote it down. And it makes sense. She said companies that have higher margins that are doing well, they're going to everyone's going to feel the pain. But when you have thinner margins, they're going to feel it a lot more difficult. It's going to be harder for them to stay profitable. They're going to suffer. The companies that are doing well, they're going to suffer a little bit, but overall, they could take market share even more because they won't have to raise prices as much. Thinking about, like you said, Brett, with a Walmart, higher margins, they're able to absorb the costs more. And I think Target has a lot more goods from overseas than Walmart does. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. She did say her favorite and strongest retailer right now is on brands, on shoes. I think it's ONEOK is their ticker, right? Yeah, Benj. The same updates from Schwab are slow. Yeah, so whatever. If you follow me on Blossom, click the link below. I have it there. You'll have to, I guess just wait until the evening time if you want to see what I bought for whatever. If that floats your boat. Nice, Chris. Walmart's your biggest holding. Oh, so Steve knows what Archie McPhee is. Good. Well, you know what? You never know what you're going to expect, right? I want to do something a little different. I don't always know what to expect. Like I said, the situation is I'm here with all of you hanging out. I give you something, you give me something. I don't know what you're going to say. And IKEA, from what I understand, Ingvar Kamprad wanted every IKEA to be a little bit more different and unique than the other. He didn't want cookie cutter IKEAs. So Kind of the same thing here, right? ONEOK. What did I say? ONEOK? And then I corrected Michael. I think I said ONEOK. We'll still look at it, Steve. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll get to it. Target and T Rowe are paying you 5% yield, both in the red. Hey, and that's interesting. I've never dug deep into T Rowe. I did used to own Target. I've never owned T Rowe. And Target, it just honestly, part of it was Brian Cornell. I kept looking at Target and being like, they keep having decreasing or flat same store comp sales, but Walmart up, 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 like Walmart's doing well. There has to be a point when leadership has to change. It was long overdue. And I don't know what it needs, fresh blood, fresh ideas, new idea, whatever it's got to be. But then again, Brian Cornell is still going to be chairman of the board. So yeah, what do you think about that, Adam? I know I'm a little bit back here. I'm kind of skinching through these, but what do you think about Brian Cornell's team still being the chairman of the board? Isn't that going to be a bit of a conflict of interest? Billy Target should change the name to Kmart. Hey, I'm sure somewhere somebody owns the rights to Kmart. I don't know if anyone could Google that quick, but just like Bed Bath & Beyond was bought by Kirkland, I think. Not Costco Kirkland, but Kirkland's. And I think, right? Or did they sell it? I think there's a Bed Bath Beyond and they added something else onto the name. Matt, how do I use price to earnings ratio as a metric? Well, that tells us where we've been. Again, how many dollars are you paying for every $1 of a company's earnings? Some are crazy high, some are crazy low. I guess the main thought is that you're getting more bang for your buck when the PE is lower, but usually the PE is low for a reason. Either the company's stagnant or they're in a turnaround or earnings have fallen off a cliff, right? So you're not paying as much for earnings and you hope that that can go up. And that's something I've struggled with, is that I'll look at high PEs sometimes and say, yeah, forget it, right? But a lot of times those high PE companies continue to keep going up and up and up, and they've been good investments. It's kind of like the thought of averaging up. You're paying for quality. So it's not going to come cheap if you want something quality. And it's yeah, and I don't know. It does a little bit, but honestly, PE just tells us where we where we are. It doesn't always tell us obviously where we're going, because the future is, I don't know, newsflash. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen tomorrow. Nexus was a stable, and get out of here. I don't know how I know that, but oh, too bad. Well, take it up with Brandon Beavis why they don't have one in Halifax. I've been to Halifax, by the way. Halifax, Nova Scotia. You know what I remember about Halifax, Nova Scotia? It was picturesque. It was a little hilly. There was a cemetery where they had Titanic they had bodies from the Titanic there. That was interesting. The RMS Titanic disaster. I guess they washed ashore up in Halifax. And other than that, I just remember casino, gentlemen's clubs, bars, a nightclub. I was 18. I was 18 or 19. Either way, you could drink in Halifax at the age of 18, and that was music to this young sailor's ears. So yeah, Halifax. Maybe I'll make it back there sometime. Don't like the Target stock. Target still look run down. That's funny. Exactly, Doc. Like, what happened to Target? It was supposed to be the snooty, clean, nice Target. And Walmart was, right? Target shoppers look down on the Walmartians, but I don't know. I guess Walmart's always an interesting adventure to go there. I don't think they had a Blossom event in Miami, though. In FTL. Oh, what is FTL? Fort Lauderdale? You got to forgive me, Patel. I'm not up on all my Florida abbreviations. I'm going to Florida. bum, 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 bum. Transformco. Steve, we'll get to ONEOK. We'll do it. But Transformco, an entity controlled by Sears and Eddie Lampert. Yeah, he did crazy things trying to turn around Sears. Acquired the remaining assets of Sears and Kmart from the bankrupt estate. They continue to operate the few remaining Kmart stores. Kmart had a unique smell. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at the point of the program. We're going to talk about your favorite smelling stores. If I could bottle up and sell Walgreens smell, every Walgreens I've ever been in anywhere in the United States somehow has that same smell. And a funny story, I worked once years ago at a Walgreens distribution facility. It was a big warehouse. It freaking smelled like Walgreens for some reason. Walgreens has that smell. Target has a smell. Don't know about Walmart. Kmart had a certain smell. Right. Welcome to the Dapper Dividends show, where we talk about smells of certain stores that you may go to. Lucas, no more gentlemen's clubs in Halifax. Pray tell, why? Maybe we need to get... Oh, you know what I did see? Check this out. Speaking of gentlemen's clubs, and Halloween's coming up, everybody. Here's an idea. If you would like to be a gentlemen's club... Well, let me set up the punch. I'm getting ahead of myself. Getting ahead of myself. But I'm going to make myself a small little head first. Here we go. CEO Buys. CEObuys.com is where you can go to see what CEOs are buying their stock with their own money. And it might not be on the page here, but I had seen that Mr. I don't remember his name. I'm trying to remember like I know. Hey, David Portnoy. Is that the David Portnoy from... No, that's not the Barstool Sports Portnoy, right? All right, I'm going to have to type it in here so if you don't see it, you can go to the top and type in a ticker like Rick. So this is a company that owns lots and lots of gentlemen's clubs. It's, oh my gosh, entertainment. Rick's Cabaret? Well, I forgot the name of it. We'll look it up. But yeah, Eric Scott Langan, 6 days ago, he bought more shares, everybody. So kind of tells me, I don't know if this is good or bad, but check it out. He bought shares at 36, 3 months ago at 39, 6 months ago at 50, a year ago at 54. See a pattern here? 3 years ago at 58, 4 years ago at 78. And then 6 years ago at 10. So he kind of just buys shares whenever. And then this goes, I think, 10 years max. 10 years ago, he was buying shares at 850. 11 years ago. Anyway, let's look up for you, Steve ONEOK. But I can't remember the name of Rick. For cry. It is RCI Hospitality. You like that Midwestern accent? Hospitality Holdings. You got here, Rick. RCI Hospitality Holdings. And they do strip clubs. You want to be a sleazy strip club owner, this is where you go. You got to get that Rick's. Microcap company. $330 million market cap. We'll just talk like this for the rest of the show. But they do have a lot of fast dividend growth. Apparently, a lot of people putting money in the strip clubs still because they keep increasing that dividend. So there you go. Currently paying 28 cents a share per year. Going to go ex-dividend on September 16th. Pretty low free cash flow payout ratio. Kevin wouldn't like this earnings payout ratio of 77%. But isn't that interesting? Look at their earnings per share was 33 cents. And at the same time, the free cash was 338. So I think I read once where it said like EPS is an imagined number, but the free cash is actual cash. Like you can't mess with that number. So Anyway, anywho, with Rick, I don't think I would ever. I think some of you, like, as I don't know if you're joking or not, invest in RCI Hospitality Holdings, but yeah, they have decent margins. Debt isn't too bad. Their interest coverage ratio could be a little higher. So there you go. And for some of you that may not know, they own clubs such as Rick's Cabaret, Jaguars Club, Tootsie's, Club Onyx, Hoops, Scarlets. I think they own one here in Chicago. Baby Dolls, Heartbreakers, all the sleazy strip clubs. Oh, wait. Whoa. Wait, what is this? How did I miss this? Further, it holds license to sell robust energy drink in the United States. Okay. We got strip clubs and energy drinks. Not sure how much synergy you got there, but you got to keep the people in the strip clubs awake, pump it full of oxygen and energy drinks to keep them spending their money, right? What are we looking up for you, Steve? ONEOK. What is it, OKE? That's okay by me. Oh, ONEOK. Did I say ONEOK again? I did. That's what it's called. It's called ONEOK. You don't like it? Shut your screen down. I don't care. Anyway, it could be reasonably valued at the higher end. I don't founded in 1906. So let's hear. Midstream energy company that provides gathering, processing, transportation, and storage services. So they gather it, they process it, they transport it, and they store it. Natural gas liquids, crude oil, refined products like gasoline. Extensive pipeline network across the U.S., including the Permian Basin, Williston Basin, and Mid-Continent. So they generate revenue primarily through fee-based contracts, which is good, reducing exposure to commodity price fluctuations. Okay, everybody, I can read. My reading still works. Steve, if you want to look, make up an email address and read all about that if you want any more. But yeah, dividend growth, slow 5-year CAGR. So it's just average, right? For a lot of these companies, they don't have rocket ship high level dividend growth. Looking reasonably valued based on the 5-year dividend yield average. Interesting, they don't have the discounted cash flow. The forward price to DCF, discounted cash flow ratio, and I don't know why. Interesting. Because it's analyst estimates. That's why. Anyway, Steve. So their DCF payout ratio is really low. You look at the DCF, or did I say discounted? Distributable cash flow, right? Right there, yeah. You can read too. The DCF, similar to free cash flow for pipelines. So low, that's good. DCF per share, beautiful. Keeps going up and to the right. Sales growth, robust the last 12 months. Shares outstanding, that's what they do. They dilute shares, but as long as the DCF grows, that's not going to be a problem because that's how they're expanding the business. Sales still up and to the right, all-time high. We're just going super quick here. I don't know anything about their projects, anything else. We're just looking at the numbers here. The quick down and dirty. Yeah, return on invested. I mean, their numbers they look good. I mean, they're probably, from what I see here, one of the more decent. Yeah, looks fine. Does anybody else own ONEOK? ONEOK. Good ICR. Yeah, it's a midstream company. It's interesting that they're not an MLP, right? Let me see hold on, dividend. They do have qualified dividends. So that's interesting. So you're not getting hit with the K1. All right. Let's see what y'all are rapping about. So yeah, I guess I don't know if Eddie Lampert's going to hold on to that Kmart. But Kmart always smelled like popcorn. I remember Icy's there. Good God, that's full of sugar. GN, what's up? Are you in Wisconsin too, Gorilla Nurse? I think you and Janice are both in Wisconsin, right? Rick's Cabaret. That's what you can do. You can buy one share of Rick's. What it cost you? About let's see, I can go back here. One share of Rick's cost you about $37, and you can tell everybody you're a sleazy strip club owner and energy drinks too, right? DIN had a CEO buy. What was DIN? I don't. Let's go back here. You're not seeing it, but where did they buy at? Anybody can do this. CEO dash buys. It's amazing you caught that with how fast I was scrolling through. Oh, I don't see it up there. You must have looked. You must have looked independently of what I'm throwing up on the screen there. Why, Lucas? Why are the gentlemen's clubs getting hard to come by in the Maritimes? Interesting. And again, though, I was there this would have been summer of 1997. So a few years ago, my friend. Bombshells, it's kind of like a Hooters, right? I think Bombshell, it's like a military themed Hooters, I think. It's kind of funny. We were driving by a Hooters near us, and I mentioned how they were on the verge, right? Filing for bankruptcy, looking like it. What happened to that story? I don't know if that's still working its way through. And I mentioned again, like, wow, those all might be gone. And my soon-to-be 18-year-old said, it's just a place where creepy old guys go to look at the women anyway. It's like, I cannot refute this, my daughter. But I guess I could have said, not all old, Yeah, man. Wait. This is the first time I've seen you. I would have noticed a Pep product as your avatar with the Doritos Cool Ranch. By the way, we've been buying the Simply Doritos. There's an app on our phone called Yuka, Y-U-K-A, and we're trying to eat better, a little bit less preservatives, a little less artificial ingredients, trying to take the low-hanging fruit. There's a book I want to read called Fatal Conveniences, and it's all about how plastic is everywhere, right? You're going to have testicles full of plastic. Microplastics are in your brain, all in your body. So there's plastic is bad. Don't touch the plastic. Don't even look at the plastic. You've got in your clothing you're wearing, there's all kinds of dyes. The water you put on your body, if it's not run through reverse osmosis, it's bad for you. It's messing up people's endocrine systems, the kids, all this stuff. And it's crazy. I listened to, I think it was diary. I can't say that word. Be careful with your words there. Diary of a CEO. Say that one fast. Talk to the author of Fatal Conveniences, and it will make you sound like a raving lunatic. And I told my wife that it made me afraid immediately to just touch anything. Like the mouse I'm using is plastic. And there's plastic everywhere and chemicals everywhere. And he said he would make plastic bottles, water bottles, illegal because they're so bad for you and the environment. But anyway, I told my wife, I felt so paranoid and thought, I don't know what the starting point is, but if I went up to the Pacific Northwest and I stood in the middle of the forest naked wearing glass shoes, is this okay? Is this dangerous? Like, can we start here? Is this a good starting point? Because it just gets crazy. And I don't know. Anyway. Oh, really? That's cool. Because we look at this. There's Lisa. Funny. She comes in and probably the first thing she hears is when people are dropping out about this guy standing in the anyway. So we'll go back to the investing talk. That's what you guys want to hear. And I think all I said I wanted to say about Target, and some of you, right, still buying it. Nobody said if you're buying, Gorilla. Yeah, we could look up MSIF if it's there. Interesting. I still do own Main Street Capital. I call it one of my income factory stocks, but that's not accurate because I bought 150 shares and then I stopped because the price kept going up. And that was one of Warren Buffett's big mistakes with Walmart, which we've been talking about. He said that he liked it, thought it was a great business, bought Walmart, and it started going up. I think he mentioned this. He talked about this in the 1991 annual shareholder letter. Bought Walmart, started going up, got above his cost basis, and he didn't want to pay up for it. So he wanted to wait for it to come back down. Sounds like all of us. And then eventually it just kept going up and up and up. And he had a small position, said, I didn't like the small position, sold Walmart and said that mistake, because I didn't keep averaging up, has cost Berkshire, has cost you, the shareholders, billions of dollars because I was stupid and I didn't keep buying Walmart because it went up above where I was buying it. So it's kind of cool to hear it's if Warren Buffett can make that mistake, look, we all can make it and it happens. But I stopped buying Main Street Capital in the $37 range. And, here we are pushing 70 and it just won't come back down. So the point I was making, if you read, and I would recommend all of you do it, Janice, I think you read Stephen Bavaria's The Income Factory, right? The point of it is you have to keep reinvesting the dividends into more shares of these higher yielding stocks, because remember, you're not worried about the share price appreciation, because whether you get you want what, 10, 12% growth a year. Well, if you're getting an 8% dividend yield and 4% growth, there's your 12%, or right, 10% yield with 0% growth, you're getting 10% as long as you keep reinvesting into the shares. And yes, I do understand it sounds like the yield max funds, but I think the difference is that Main Street Capital, Ares Capital, Blue Owl, I think Ryan owns them. Companies like this, they're paying you out from profits, from earnings. It's not a return of your own money coming back to you. So it's different. And I've just started doing it. If you notice the newsletter with Ares Capital, right? I've been finally buying shares, and it's taken a minute to get that going and say, well, my cost basis is $17, $18. I don't know if it's going to ever get back there. If it does, fantastic. I'll buy more because the yield will go up. So anyway, point being, Ares Capital, Main Street Capital, not buying those for capital appreciation, meaning the stock price to go up. I'm buying those for the income, and then I should be so I think I'm going to dump the Main Street. Actually, let's take a peek at this, because we'll see exactly. Oh yeah, Lisa with Target. Do you shop at Target? My wife, she'll go there, but ever since the pandemic happened, she loves doing the order pickup, right? Sometimes she has the kids do it. Sometimes she has me do it on the way home from work. Oh, swing by Target, just pull into the space and I'll give you and they bring it right out, Oh, Chris, there you go, man. Yeah. And it's funny. I've held off buying Walmart. I'm like, it's too expensive, and it just keeps going up. But what I want to show all y'all, hold on. Let me bring you along. Bring you lovely listeners along. Here we go. No longer looking at RCI. We're going to look at the portfolio, and we'll do this is the combined view. Again, this is not my full investment portfolio. This is just 3 accounts I have on Schwab. It's a smattering. It's an IRA, a Roth IRA, and it is an overflow. I call it overflow taxable account. But that's too big. It's too big. We can't read it. The annual income I wanted to look at. There we go. So Ares Capital, I've bought almost 50 shares as of late. My cost per share was right around like $17.97-ish right around 18. So it's funny because recently it was like under 800, the annual income. That's the very top line we're looking at with Aries. And my yield on cost, 10.29%. That's come down a little bit because I'm buying a dividend yield of 8.6%. So the whole, yeah, I'm up almost 20% on just the share price, which is good. But I'm going to take the Main Street Capital dividends and the Aries Capital dividends, and I'm just going to force myself to keep plowing it in there because I set a target of getting this annual income, which I know it's small, of up to 1,000 a year. I want it at 1,000. So, and look at Maine is crazy. Let me pull it up here. Easier for you to see. I haven't bought shares in years. I'm up 74% on the share price, and right, dividend yield 4.7, but my yield on cost 8.19%. And it just shows you the power of holding those shares. And they raise the dividend ever so gently, does Main Street Capital. But we will look for you, Gorilla Nurse. Anyway, so that's the thought with Aries Capital is that I'm not buying it for capital. And I have to remind myself, like, to hell with the yield on cost and the cost per share. Damn it, make it go up. Whatever. Let's get that annual income, right? Because when we work, we look at our income. That's Stephen Bavaria's point. You think about things in terms of income. What income does it produce, right? Rental property, what's the income it's going to produce? What is a job? The income, what is an annual salary, right? So you're looking at income. So that's kind of my one income factory stock. That was MSIF. We are looking at the MSC Income Fund. All right, just for you. And I can't let go. I gotta let you know. Did you guys know that Bobby Caldwell is white? Listen to Bobby Caldwell. It's just the most random things, right? I never knew it till recently. The YouTube algorithm blew my mind, and it said, it hit me with a compilation of Black people reacting to finding out that Bobby Caldwell was white. And I was like, he was white? Like, so it was a reaction of me reacting to people. That was kind of funny. Anyway, MSC Income Fund. 14 bucks. All right, small cap. You said it's new. I know nothing about this. Let's see. It's a BDC. So you say it's managed then, I'm going to guess. Invests in management buyouts, recapitalizations, growth financing, refinance. See, it's a little bit harder for me to understand because I know that the bulk of what Main Street Capital does is they're just middle market companies. They're primarily investing in those companies. And actually, that'd be fun. I'll pull that up in a minute. Yeah, dividend growth. It looks, you said new. It looks like 2011. I put in the right ticker, right? MSIF. Yeah. So, got some special payouts. I don't know. I would really have to know a lot about this fund, way out of my wheelhouse. So whatever these, yeah, I'm guessing we're looking at an earnings payout ratio. It's really high, which is why they might cut, but I don't know if they, yeah, this doesn't look very good to me. Sales are up, but they dilute. So this one's a tough one for me to understand, not going to lie. I would really need to dig deep and find out exactly. Yeah, I don't know. This one would be out of my wheelhouse. Wheelhouse? But I want to show you guys one thing. If I can pull them up. Let me share this tab instead. So here we are at mainstcapital.com. And what you can do if you want to see right here, portfolio companies, lower middle market, and then private credit. So all these companies, it's really interesting. They're all in Ameritech College. Is that like the phone Ameritech? I used to have Ameritech when I got out of the Navy. So yeah, it's air hose and specialty. These are when you buy Main Street Capital, all these companies are paying Main Street Capital and they're paying us. So I am an investor in a way in like here, Brewer, Crane and Rigging out of Lakeside, California. Boom, right there. Yeah, without getting too into the weeds. Yeah, and of course, these are lower middle market companies. They may not be able, they may be too small to get some financing from some of the bigger, like I'm guessing JP Morgan's, I think is how it goes. Oh, Elgin, like the street sweeping? No. Anyway, yeah, headquartered in Elgin, Illinois. Dude, that's right down the street from me. I'm just going to have to go walk in there, go into their break room, check it out, help myself because they are indebted to me. But anyway, there you go. If you invest in Main Street Capital, you can go to their website and just spend an inordinate amount of time looking at all the lower middle market companies and private credit that they invest in. Hey, what's up? What's up, these divs? Target. Look at Billy go. My God, where does the time go? Cripes. All right, let's AGNC. You're kidding, Doc, right? Okay, Doc, just for you. I gotta show you that. I gotta put that up for sorry, Doc. Apparently I'm inviting guests to the studio. Here. AGNC. Now I know some use it as an income factory stock. Mortgage REITs, I don't understand mortgage REITs. I stay away from those. But their dividend, watch their dividend here. Look at that. Blech. Yuck. And I know they have a super high yield, but let me give you more real estate here. Look at a bigger pick. And God dang it, I lost my, here we are. All right. Yikes. Yucky dividend growth. What do I say their yield was right now? Okay, so it's 15%. You know, you can go do a total return calculator, look for that on your own time, go to Dividend Channel, use their drip calculator. But yeah, that dividend just keeps getting cut. It's flat. You're buying this just for the income. And it's kind of reminds me of the yield max funds. You have to reinvest. But when I look at an Ares Capital, their dividend's been frozen for a little bit. So no, I want to show that. So 8.6%, but it's not cutting. So let me just show you. Okay, they cut during the GFC. That was a tough time, right? A lot of businesses had struggles then. So if we have a deep, nasty recession, they could cut. Maybe they cut and it goes down to 5%, but they should raise once things recover. So yeah, the dividend for Ares Capital is frozen right now. But again, $1.92 per share per year. And I think it's a good yield buying it just for the income. So yeah, I would stay away from AGNC. That's just me. What's up, Michael Anthony? Starboard voice. Well, I'm guessing yeah, Pfizer. You know what? But what's their plan? I would like to ask you, what is their plan for? There's some activist investor firms like Starboard that they can get in and then they do all kinds of announcements. I know companies like this can finance research reports to make things look really rosy. They try and get a lot of momentum and buzz, and then they'll blow out of it after a stock jumps 5-6% because they're buying millions and millions of dollars worth. But yeah, man, I mean, wish you the best of luck with Pfizer, but I just, I'm hoping they prove me wrong. I really do. But especially after COVID started dwindling down, depends who you talk to, their sales just went south. I think they overpay for acquisitions. I don't know. We'll have to see if it was accretive. Is it? I don't know, man. I really don't know. But I mean, I'm skeptical on Pfizer and I won't be buying them. And I really do hope that, I don't know, in a year, 2-3 years, you can come back and say, see, Pfizer's up 35% from where I told you, and you should have bought. And I'll say, yes, I should have. So I really do hope I'm wrong, but we all have to make our choices, right? But yeah, you can come on here and share the word, man. I love it. And if anybody else wants to buy, Lisa, that's too nice. I keep meaning to get to yours. So today I was doing yard work and I saw that I guess I should have popped on and at least give you the thumbs up. So next time, next time, as long as it's not Tuesday night, my daughter's got a flag football game, her first real game. We had a scrimmage Friday night. Holding up CTO. What is CTO, Doc? I can't find there it is. I don't know CTO. Nope. CT0. Oh, CTO Realty. All right, looks interesting. 9% dividend yield. Okay. I'm going to leave that one up. I'll have to peep at that when I'm not so close to. Oh, dude. Look at this. Ooh, you got me with your name. It reminds me of Blagojevich, Rod Blagojevich. I don't know. We want to attempt that. I like the ski, though. My birth name is Ski on the end. I always learned SKI is Polish, SKY is Russian, right? So, man, that's funny you ask that because it's been so long since I've watched a begin. Does anyone have put it in the chat? I mean, there's almost 60 of you watching. Somebody put a couple in there. Yeah, thanks, Steve. PPC Ian for sure. And I actually did one. Funny you say that. I did one showing on Blossom. Someone asked me the last video I did, what goes where on the thumbnail. I did a little bit of the philosophy of what I hold, where, and why. But man, it's a journey. You're not going to get it from watching a couple videos. You'll learn. You're going to have to. Yeah, sweet. Thank you. Yeah, there has to be some. Doc, yeah. I mean, technicals can be okay, but for someone that's here, perfect example, Doc. Not to bag on you, but technicals aren't. So you can use technicals, which is the chart, right? The stock chart moving up and down. I think you can use technicals to find an entry point for the short term, but I don't really think that it's not investing. Investing is looking at the fundamentals, and you're investing in a business, in the company for a long time. But if you're looking and you're buying price and selling price, then you're speculating on price movement. And that's what technicals were great for. But if a company is solid, has a durable competitive advantage, it's easy to understand, then you just buy it. Buy it. Don't sell it even if it gets frothy and goes up, as long as it stays a solid quality company. That's something I've learned and I still am learning. But man, it's a rabbit hole. I guess I would say, do you want to spend time really learning how to invest, or do you just want to get money in the market with very little effort and thought? Then you buy something called an exchange traded fund, an ETF. All it is a basket of companies. Just imagine itty bitty little slivers of companies in this basket, and you can buy the basket with one ticker, like ticker VOO, which is the S&P 500. It's the top 500 companies roughly in the United States. That's super popular, super easy. It's what Warren Buffett recommends. And you are literally owning with one shot of that. And you can buy fractions of it, right? I could just go on for hours and hours about the beginner stuff. So thank you for that. Investing Simplified. There's going to be a lot, man. I guess you just got to find your flavor of what you can understand. And a lot of us, we have the curse of knowledge, they call it. When I say PE or CAGR, I'm going quick. And somebody that's on day one, they're not going to know what PE or CAGR is, right? Compound annual growth rate, or price to earnings ratio. Some of these things need explanations, but it's that they call it the curse of knowledge because, you've been doing something over and over and over, and you forget what it's like to be a beginner on day one and know nothing about nothing. So you got to start somewhere, man. Just start watching, just start learning, right? The scariest time is right before you start. But honestly, my opinion is if you want to just start, I don't know where you are. And again, not financial advice, I'm not a professional, but from what I've learned and experienced, in my opinion, VOO would be fantastic. There's other flavors of it, but you just buy the S&P 500. You buy all those great companies. Yes, I do understand the top 10 companies make up like 40% of the S&P 500 nowadays, but hey, that's where we are. It could be different this time. What'd you say, Dees? Research and assemble an investment policy statement. That's that could be too much. I'm trying to think like investment policy statement. What is that? Do I have one? Yeah, it's all going to be dependent on your age, your risk tolerance, how much money you have to invest, how many years of investing you have, and just making mistakes with smaller amounts of money. That's yeah, you're right. I know I'm being hyperbolic. What's the goal? The goal should be to have more money than you have right now. And the stock market is a fantastic way to just get it going, get it working. Um, if there are any doubts, put in lifetime S&P 500 chart. It goes up and to the right. So I know it's a lot to throw at you, but just start, ask around. S&P 500 ticker VOO is a great place to start, and it's going to be tough to. I think we're at all-time highs. I'll end with this, telling you guys I just bought some more of it. Forced myself. If you get the newsletter, get it below. Sign up for it. I forced myself to buy 2 more shares of the S&P 5 of no VTI, the total stock market, and it was painful. I thought it was stupid that I'm buying at crazy all-time highs, and the market kept going up from there. So we'll see. We'll see what that does. Oh, McVeigh, we'll end with you. 3 fund portfolio you like is FX, AIX, SCHD, and SCHD. That's probably good. Fidelity fund and 2 Schwab funds in there. It's 10 years from now, right? An investment policy statement. Yeah. Oh, look at all you guys popping in now. VTI. Yeah, VTI, I just like that little extra kick. You get the entire U.S. stock market, mostly. There's some super, penny micro pink sheet stocks that aren't included. But yeah, dude, community. Look, YouTube, get in the comments. I know Kevin Burgess is a name. He'll be live tomorrow, I think, Kevin. He has a Discord. Just find a community of investors. I would say, I'll end with this for you, my friend. Last thing is, don't be enticed, and it's hard not to be, by things offering really quick returns, right? That's one thing I learned the hard way. If something promises a really quick return on your money, I would give it a quick no. It's too good to be true. So that's my parting word for you. Take it or leave it. Promising a quick return is a quick no. I think Warren Buffett would agree with that. Anyway, so I don't know. There we are. We made it again. Oh, by the way, for those of you still watching, this coming weekend is Labor Day weekend here in the United States. Saturday night, I'm going to Demolition Derby in Joliet. Say if you're going, I'll bump into you, say hi. And then Sunday night, we got tickets. My daughter, my 16-year-old, wants to see Billy Idol. So he's rolling his old ass out on stage. He's almost 70 years old. We're going to see Billy Idol in Milwaukee. That's Sunday night. So I may just live stream so I don't cut into Kevin on Monday night. I may live stream Sunday afternoon. Craig, maybe you jump on. I don't know. I'll talk to you. But, doing a fantasy football league draft. Dude, don't get me started. Do not get me started. You broke my train of thought, Craig. So, yeah, I'll be Demolition Derby Saturday night. Billy Idol in Milwaukee Sunday night. So, I will not be available Saturday or Sunday night. I don't know. Maybe I'll jump on with Kevin Monday night. That could be fun. So I'm either going to go Sunday afternoon before we leave for Milwaukee, or I'll do Monday night. I'll jump on with Kevin. I'm sure he won't mind me crowbarring my way into his show. So anyway, you guys are going to start talking fantasy, and I'll go another hour. So with that, thank you so very much. Seriously, thanks for doing this, coming by. I mean, doing it and hanging out. I love it. I appreciate it. Oh, Simple Path to Wealth. Dude, how do I forget that? Yeah, read Simple Path to Wealth. Great book by J.L. Collins. Fantastic book. That's a great place to start. Just, Simple Path to Wealth. Fantastic. That's why I love you guys. You can give the assist, right? The alley-oop. Thank you. So guys, girls, everybody, thanks a lot. And I'll see you Sunday or Monday with Kevin. We'll see. Love it. Love you guys. I'll see you later.